has to do with FTM shed.
Yeah. What did you mean precisely?
Well, anything visual that we could show.
Website follow that. Yeah. It's going to go back on.
We'll go on.
I'm Andrew. And this is Dale.
Dale, yes,
And we met through FTM Shed.
we did. Creating it.
Yeah.
Creating F2M Shed.
We live next door.
Spent my childhood telling my parents I was a boy, and the idea of, in the late 60s and 70s was to lock me up in a home, so that's where I went till I was 18. And I still persisted with that, I'm a boy and stuff, so the home put therapy into place, making me wear dresses, which I'd wear football shorts underneath, so if I was caught with football shorts under the dress, they'd be taken off me, and they'd be taken off me by male staff. I had ways of getting male hormones. I knew people. I lived on the street. No fixed address, I think they call it, because we were too young for the doll. I think you had to be 15 or 16, working age to get the doll, and I was 13. But I lived on Fitzroy Street for a few years. Slept rough, I think they call it now, trendy, sleep rough. And I just had to rely on the trans community, and to a certain extent the street girls and everything. That was my community, and I used to swap hormones. I had make me more female hormones, they had make them more male hormones, we used to swap.
As if the doctors didn't get it, The guys would come in and say, I'm a girl. Well, they'd get male hormone to make more male to fix the problem, and you got the opposite. So you go around the dunnies like swapping cigarettes as well.
And it was pills in those days.
And how's that doctor? He says, that you go into the doctor and you're growing a beard. He says, Are you taking your hormones?
Yeah. It's not working well, well. But no, we did things like that. We were street kids. No one was there to, nobody gave it, they just didn't care what we did. We were street kids, eventually we'd die. And out of my, say, 10 best friends, I'm the only one living. Oh, I think another person is too. But yeah, 2 out of 10.
So back in the day, there would have been about 1 or 2 other guys waiting in the waiting room occasionally with you?
No, you never saw another guy. We saw women, but not guys. They didn't let us mix. We were kept separated.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, F2Ms didn't exist. The thing then, back in the day, was that the gender dysphoria gene was on the Y chromosome, so women couldn't possibly have it. And so we spent a lot of time in the 80s waiting for that to change. And nowadays it's a bit easy. There's queer and there's fluid and there's, which all wouldn't have passed the Benjamin standards.
No.
Then the other side, if you had a motorbike accident or you got sick or something, you had to try and deal with what we call normal doctors that have no clue. And I've been refused treatment at hospitals and doctors, and they don't treat people like me. Yeah. And told to go, security will be called or whatever. And I mean, one of the big ones was I was unconscious, so what was I doing? I was doing nothing. It's just religiously they didn't agree with what I'd done, so they took me back out in the street, told the ambulance to get rid of me. Just got to get better and walk, or get out of there as quick as you can. You can't rely on hospitals or ambulances or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's for other people, not for us.
Well, it's and it's still going on, because this isn't just something that happens in the past. I had a bone spur out of my shoulder last year. We won't be naming which hospital and all that kind of thing, but I came out of recovery, as you do. You have to wait until you can eat. The nurse said, oh yeah, you're ready for food now. It's just change of shift, hang on a minute. Next one come in, she looked at the file, she took my mobile phone off me so that I couldn't call anyone else, and then says, no food for you. I did not get fed while I was in that hospital after my operation, and that was last year.
The rules are that anything that happens to you, you caused yourself. So I don't drink, I don't smoke, and I don't take illegal drugs, because if they say you broke your toe because you were drunk, then I won't get treated. Maybe you're a nuisance. Yeah, this person's a nuisance. We don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Or they say this person was caught in fancy dress. You know, obviously he's been out, got drunk, caught in fancy dress because he's dressed like a man.
Yeah.
So, and then they get the pronouns coming along, her, and you know, how are you today, dear? Oh, she's well. Yeah, it looks damn ridiculous.
Yeah, but
it's your medical. You're relying on these people to do something to help, and they're busy with their politics.
The first person's fine. They would never do anything wrong. The second person, and because it's so up to who is the individual caring for you, our world is not that good yet.
And we rely on our GPs heavily.
When you find someone who you know who's good, you do very much rely on them.
Yeah, I stood on a 4-inch nail out in the driveway, and got the hammer and got it out, and went down and sat for an hour till a free appointment at Northside, and they said, why didn't you go to the hospital? Like they're going to treat me.
Better to get it out fast.
And sit and wait.
So that's another thing, I suppose. There's an awful lot of self-treating that goes on, because sometimes it's better off. You're better off than going into the regular services. So when you go to aged care, it's going to be a real thing. Like the thought of getting so debilitated that you needed someone to help you shower or something, well, hello. Imagine if it's a new person, every time you have to go for a shower, they're going to be looking at you, and no, the trauma is beyond thinking about.
I'm not going in home.
No, I'm not going to have you go.
I've been told, I've gone for jobs, and I've been told we don't employ people like you.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's the needs of the many, not the needs of the one. Go away. We don't have anything for you. You know, you'll just upset. What toilets are we going to put you in?
Yeah, too hard basket.
You know, well, toilets I go in any day of the week. Yeah, but no, we can't be having that. You know, you'll upset my workforce. So yeah, a long way to go yet. We're coming from a female side. And I never went to school, so basically I've no qualifications. And a lot of the female, the F2Ms, don't have schooling and stuff. And so they don't keep a lifestyle. They just have to go with what they do, which is, labour jobs if they can get it. But who's going to get the job, the normal or the trans? So it's hard that way.
Kind of at the bottom of the heap, because you've got no backups where backups would normally be to bridge you through.
So that takes us right round to superannuation.
Nah.
No job, no super, and that's what we're supposed to have. We're supposed to have these super funds to look after us. We haven't. You know, we can't get a job. So
you can't get your super sorted out in a year or two just because the rights are getting better and people are getting more work now. It's kind of already gone. Like, I'm doing odd jobs of my own as I can, and even if you can change your like I did get to university, I did have a degree. You change your degree over with your name, but you've just got no work history, have you? How do you go for a job? How are you going to ring up and say, well, where were you employed last? Oh, she, her, what? You know, you've got, so you're back to start your career again with no work history and a degree all the way back there. What happened in the middle? So like, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't got a
I had a
resume.
holiday.
Long one.
Nah.
Yeah, no, I haven't got a resume. I can't sit down and say this is what I've done. Doesn't make any sense.
No.
It's a guy.
You
It's
went
a
down to the
chemist.
chemist this morning because
Yeah.
you got a cold. Now, what medications
Medications
are you on? And all we want's a decongestant. You're like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. How far do I disclose? And if it does go, I do have a reaction. Whose fault is it? Me for not saying to a perfect stranger in a chemist shop, or so it goes on.
I'd say for the service providers to begin to ask questions like if you're on the job day to day, and you need your person you're caring for to go to the doctor, go to the physio, you get up and do whatever it is you're trying to go to the shopping, whatever, and they're not budging. Ask them what they need from you to make this happen. What do you need me to do now? What could I do to help this? Not why aren't you doing it? Because that's just 101 trans, here we go again. Do I have to tell you why I don't want to go to the doctor? No. Just what could I do now that would work or help? And that's simple because it breaks it right down to a simple instruction you want that person to do, and not have to tell them why.